Blended learning is an opportunity to mix traditional classroom techniques and also online and digital technologies in order to enhance the student's experience and create a more active and participatory learning environment. The course I used blended learning techniques for was a course on science fiction. So for my purposes, a blended course was a useful way to encourage students to learn about media technology whilst actively using the very same media they were learning about. I structured the course schedule for my science fiction class with a pretty regular transition between online and in class. So the students knew on a day-by-day basis, on a regular pattern, whether they should be online or in class. I also tried to create a kind of feedback structure whereby the online exercises would lead directly into themes and debates we were going to discuss in class. For one exercise, my students engaged in a whole class online discussion. The students had to spend time discussing the novel and the theme of communication in the online forum enabled by Blackboard. And as they had that discussion, they had to refer explicitly to the text itself using examples and literary analysis, but also to the very forum in which they were having the discussion. Using the online discussion forum, again, prompted me to think about ways in which we can open up kind of networks of conversation within the classroom that aren't always directed through the professor, him or herself. So for the War of the Worlds module, there were 4 particular classes in which we worked our way through H.G. Wells's novel. We began with an introductory video. After students watched this introductory video, kept nice and brief, they transitioned to the next part of the online class, which was a mouse-over activity. So students were presented with a passage of text from Wells's novel, which they could read through and drag their mouse over particular icons, which would open a text box with a kind of critical gloss or commentary on those passages. It functioned in the manner of a kind of live interactive footnote, which operated without the need to flick back and forth within a book. Students then clicked onto the next page of the activity where they had a series of questions to answer. After that class, we came back into the classroom and we had a more traditional in-class lecture. So this enabled us to expand upon the themes of media and communication that were introduced in the first class, but to do so also in a more kind of dialogic in-class debate format. I found that students had a very powerful desire for a more immediate engagement with knowledge. And I think that is facilitated in part by these new kinds of online formats. So I think blended learning and engaging with these new forms of organization and technology has prompted me to think beyond simply this individual class and to think more broadly about the techniques of pedagogy as a whole.